What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. So yesterday we did have that Resident Evil showcase that showed off quite a bit of Resident Evil Village as we expected, but Capcom had some other fun announcements there that we'll be going over here today, as well as when you can try out Resident Evil Village for the first time here in just a few days with a playable demo. Also, it does look like Sony has quietly fixed a pretty annoying and strange issue with the PS5 here in this latest update. Oh, and there was a rating that was spotted out of Australia that could be pointing to a new game in the Super Monkey Ball franchise. Guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure that like button helps out a ton. And if you're new here to the Spawn Wave channel, make sure you're subscribed down below. And we're gonna start today with E3 2021. We have another company announcing their participation in the event, and we can head over here to Twitter. This from Ubisoft saying, announcing the next Ubi Forward part of E3 2021. Ubisoft Forward, June 12th, 12 p.m. Pacific, that'd be 3 p.m. Eastern time. And this is something I won't be live streaming, because every time I would live stream one of these Ubisoft events at E3, they would just like copyright strike the channel for some reason. I don't know. I mean, there was always a lot of music around Just Dance, so maybe that was it. Hard to say, but we can look forward to a few things here. Obviously, the next Just Dance game. Unfortunately, no, it won't be on the Wii, so I guess Ubisoft won't be releasing a Wii game in 2021. But outside of that, Far Cry would be there then, and even beyond that, Beyond Good and Evil 2, maybe that's ready to be shown. We'll see. Skull and Bones, haven't seen that one for a little while. Apparently that got rebooted after it was initially shown for a new idea. I'm not sure about any of the other franchises with like an Assassin's Creed or something there. We'll see if they want to do any of that, but it's always interesting to see Ubisoft at these events, because sometimes they'll just get a game and out of nowhere show it off, like what we had with Gods and Monsters to turn into Phoenix Rising, and actually turned out to be a pretty fun game overall, so we'll see what they have for us on June 12th. Also, it looks like the Balan Wonderworld demo is going away. In fact, by the time you're seeing this video, it's already off of the eShop, off of Steam, or the PlayStation Store, any of that. It's weird because they have an expiration date on a demo that just should have never existed. That demo did so much damage to the game, I'm sure, in terms of sales, because it turned everyone off of it like immediately. Although, if we didn't have that demo and you bought the game for $60, you'd been probably pretty annoyed about that. So I guess for some people, it saved them some money there. But the real news here is that there is now a change.org petition to get Sean to actually play the game and review it. Seriously, Jim Ryan set it up and everything, which, I mean, Sean, you can only Photoshop Jim Ryan's head on your thumbnail so many times before he'll start fighting back. And you know what? I did sign this petition because they're right. Sean was talking up this game as like a AAA Knights game and all of this from Yuji Naka, and I'm ready to see Sean review it. So I left my thoughts there in a comment on the petition, because Balan Wonderland isn't going to review itself. Oh, and we did get the announcement that Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection will be heading to other platforms here pretty soon. We can see this tweet, Capcom USA, saying, prepare to challenge again. Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection is available now for Nintendo Switch and is coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Steam. Choose from multiple difficulty modes and local co-op, perfect for knights of all skill levels. And I think this was like a 3 or 4 month exclusivity deal with Nintendo. Obviously, it wasn't very long if they're already announcing other platforms here. But the one cool thing about this is if you put it on Steam, you could probably get super high frame rates out of this. If maybe we have backwards compatibility for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, some sort of patch there, we could do 120 frames. This is a game that could certainly use it. It's punishing, but is a very good 2D platforming game that shows off the RE engine doing something a bit different than we're used to with some of these Resident Evil remakes as this 2D platform. It looks really good in motion though, and I wouldn't sleep on this one. Certainly worth checking out. I would actually expect it to be coming out here pretty soon, at the latest, maybe over the summer after E3. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away with the PlayStation 5. We just had that new update. We went over all of the things that Sony emphasized on it, right? We had the talk about the share play over network, where you could do co-op, which was pretty cool. They also fixed the HDR issues that people were seeing. And naturally, you can store your PS5 games on an external drive, not necessarily play them, but you can only store it off your system, so you don't have to download 50, 60 gigabytes at a time if you deleted the game and then want to play it again. But it does appear that there were some other smaller issues that were figured out. One in particular was really weird that would happen, and if you have a PS5 right now that takes a disc, so that the disc version of it, not the all digital version, you may have noticed this as well. If you had a disc inside, if you are playing a game off of the SSD that doesn't need the disk drive at all, it's not even a game you have in there that you're playing. Maybe you downloaded Destruction All-Stars off PlayStation Plus and you had another game just kind of in the disk drive for the PS5, it would randomly just start spinning up, and it would happen a lot, and it was loud. Like the PS5, the biggest thing with this system is when the disc spins inside of it up to like full blast, you hear it. Like it's louder than anything else in the system itself. The all digital version of the PS5 is actually pretty quiet overall because the fan inside isn't very loud. I mean, look at this right here. This is from Push Square, where they say PS5's hourly disc spinning sound seems to have been reduced. And I didn't notice if it was hourly. I just realized, wow, it keeps making a lot of noise for me not playing Ys 9 that's in there right now. I'm playing Destruction All-Stars. Why does it keep spinning up the disc, almost like it's trying to make sure I own the game that I'm playing off of the SSD? Well, good news. I kind of noticed this as well, as I've been playing the PS5 here for the last few days after that update, and I hadn't really noticed it spinning up much. I think the other day I played for a couple hours and it spun up once, and it wasn't as intense. So like it didn't go to full speed, but I could kind of hear the disc spinning up a bit, even though I wasn't playing a game off of the disc drive itself. So interesting stuff there. Good to know, though, that if I'm playing like Soulstorm right now and I do have Ys 9 in the disc drive, I don't have to worry about it going full blast, making sure that I own Ys 9 while I'm playing Soulstorm. Next up, let's talk about that Resident Evil showcase yesterday. It was like a little over 20 minutes, I think. And the one thing that I realized, it's really cool, by the way, we're to this point, Resident Evil is so big now, just as a franchise, Capcom can hold an entire direct type video. I mean, think about this. We just had one of these showcases before, and now we have another one just leading up to Village, but they had so many other things to announce that it actually felt like a full-fledged, almost like direct, right? And it didn't feel like it was, they drug it out or anything. It went by pretty quick, but we'll start with some of the announcements outside of Village and then circle around and finish up with the demo itself. So to get started, we do have Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. This is coming out in July, and it appears to be an animated movie going to Netflix with Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield taking place after the events of Resident Evil 4. And hey, it's on Netflix. I have Netflix. I guess I'll just look forward to checking this one out here. So that's kind of cool to have that. And then we have a collaboration that was announced between Dead by Daylight and Resident Evil. This collaboration will be released in June. And we also had a new VR game announced. That's right, Resident Evil 4 VR is heading to Oculus Quest. They're gonna have more information and details for this one April 21st during the Oculus Games Showcase, but it's super impressive because this means they figured out how to get Resident Evil 4 on yet another platform. That's right, the Skyrim of Resident Evil games strikes again. I mean, it looked interesting enough. I guess it's Resident Evil 4 from a different perspective, but I do kind of see this as the same issue we had the Wii game, where the Wii version of Resident Evil 4 made it pretty easy overall, right? Where you had the pointer controls. I mean, I kind of feel like in VR, you're gonna have something very similar here with just popping headshots left and right. And then they showed off Resident Evil Village, and every time they show this game, it looks better and better. Like, Capcom has been showing us little pieces of the game as they've gone along, and just to reveal just enough. And I almost feel like I'm seeing too much of the game now, because I wanted to go in with less information than I have now, even around what they've shown us with some of the cutscenes, and I'm sure some plot details that they're kind of flashing to us without context, like sure they do with the big hammer running around. Some of the gameplay itself with the combat looks pretty good. Like, it looks a bit faster than we had with Resident Evil 7 and a little more arcadey maybe, but I do like what we're seeing here, the inventory management system, all the, yes, it looks like it's going to be a really fun game to play through. But they also had a couple of other interesting announcements, like Mercenaries. Yeah, this is a mode that they showed off that's certainly going to be more on the arcadey side of things, or you're running through and you are more or less doing a score attack mode, running through destroying and wiping out a bunch of enemies, getting scores for that, and I'm sure comparing it versus other people who are playing the game as well. And they showed off almost like items you're picking up while you're running through, and even perks that you get that will change the way your character is able to go through these different parts. And on top of all of this, we won't have to wait too long to actually try the game out, because Capcom decided to announce the demos. That's right, demos with what else but a chart. Take a look at this here. This Resident Evil Village demo schedule. That's right, we have a schedule around these demos, some of it being exclusive to the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4. For example, the Village demo, it's gonna be available for a window of 8 hours in North America starting April 17th, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That'll be this Saturday. So I'm gonna try to get 30 minutes of this in before the podcast goes live so we can talk about it, because apparently This is going to be like a 30-minute demo that they're going to do, and then the other one they'll do with the village and castle will be a 60-minute demo, but that will be available on the PS5 and the PS4. This will take place in the village. Then, as you can see, we have the castle demo a week later on April 24th, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we'll have the village and castle multi-platform demo. This is going to be available on everything, the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series systems, Xbox One, Steam, and Stadia. That'll be May 1st, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That one will be available for 24 hours, and according to them, it's a 60-minute demo. So I get the idea of them wanting to do like these multi-tier demos, so it feels like we're getting something from Resident Evil each week leading up to release, but wow, what a confusing thing for these demos. Okay, fine. At least we get to try the game out ahead of time here, and it's exciting stuff because when we saw that Maiden demo through stream, I was like, it looks pretty good, I guess, but it's through the stream, and stream, I mean, just obviously degrades the picture overall. When I actually had that on like my OLED at home through the PS5, it looked amazing. So yes, I am excited to get my hands on Resident Evil Village here in just a few days. Exciting stuff. I'm sure we'll be talking about on the podcast this weekend, but hey, a good showcase overall from Capcom. I'm really happy to see that Resident Evil has grown into this franchise that can literally hold up an entire event for like 20 or so minutes with all these different announcements, and it'd actually be a lot of fun to watch. Next up, let's talk about Sony's latest PC release, that being Days Gone, because we did get some new details around the release as well as its release date. And we can see this here over on PlayStation blog, where they say Days Gone PC gameplay revealed, launches May 18th. A little further down, they do talk about some of the newer features, which includes 21:9 ultra-wide monitor support, and they do also talk about customization options. That includes increased level of detail, foliage, draw distance, and graphical customization, and you can use first and third-party controllers. They even showed like an Xbox controller in there for the trailer itself, and they also point out the photo mode that allows you, according to them, to capture the realistic and detailed world of Days Gone through the new super resolution photo mode. And this is going to be an interesting launch to keep an eye on here next month, because Horizon Zero Dawn, when that came out on the PC, actually had quite a few issues that took several patches to fix. I mean, we had things where the frame rate was stuck in like the mid 40s, even if you had a very capable machine. So Sony, who obviously is looking more and more at the PC landscape as a great place to make money because they can release games that sell for like $10 or even that they're giving away on the PS4 or the PS5 for like $40 or $50 on Steam or the Epic Game Store, and even make deals with Epic when it comes to some of these releases and make more money that way. So their releases have to be much more smooth, I would say, basically working day one. So we'll see here with Days Gone when it releases May 18th, if they learned a bit from their Horizon Zero Dawn launch, and maybe Days Gone comes out and it's just a lot better in terms of functionality and needing less work after the release date. But exciting stuff there for PC gamers who have been wanting to see more of these PlayStation games come over, and we'll see what kind of support Days Gone gets, because we just heard about the whole story of Days Gone 2 apparently being pitched and then denied, and now Ben Studio's working on something new. And of course, this will also tell us if Sony will continue to maybe do more PlayStation games on the PC if the sales are good for things like Days Gone or Horizon Zero Dawn. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about Super Monkey Ball. Gamatsu actually spotted a rating for what could be a new game in the series. We can see this here, where it says Australian classification has rated the unannounced Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. The latest entry in the Super Monkey Ball series to be released was Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD, which launched for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch in October 2019. And of course, it followed up on PC a couple of months later in December. And I did look through this, by the way, on the rating, because I was like, oh, everyone's excited. It's probably a cell phone game. It doesn't appear to be. It's rated for computer games. Usually I think it would be rated for like mobile games if it was going to go to cell phone. So, all right, we've passed at least the first barrier there. It's not a cell phone game, at least from what I can tell through the ratings, where it was rated at PG. Now, the rating board, when I looked at it, came down like that listing. So I don't know if it was accidentally put up and it wasn't supposed to be out there yet, ahead of an announcement that apparently was approved on April 15th, so just yesterday. Now they had a Banana Blitz HD that they even did a 2-pack with Sonic. You know what? Hard to say which one was trying to sell the other there by double packing it just based on Sonic Forces, but to hear that Super Monkey Ball could be coming back here with a new game in the series, it's exciting stuff for Super Monkey Ball fans. It's hard to say what this is right now just by the title. It could be a brand new game, could be a game where they go back and grab some of the more popular levels and just throw it into a new game for all of the current platforms. Hard to say, but the cool thing is it could even be a Game Pass game. Maybe Microsoft goes to Sega and they're like, hey, we'll throw that on Game Pass day one. It could get more exposure for the Super Monkey Ball series that could possibly lead to more games from Sega. It's just good to hear that Sega is looking more into this franchise after getting Banana Blitz HD. Maybe they really are going to go with a new game here. We'll see what we have, maybe E3 time. And before we go to the comment of the day, we're here with the poll that I posted up yesterday, where I asked, what PlayStation series do you think will go to PC next? 49% of you said Ghost of Tsushima, 19% of you said The Last of Us, 17% said God of War, and 15% said Gran Turismo. Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima sounds about right. I mean, the obvious answer was Dreams. I saw some of you comment that if I put Dreams, everyone would have voted for Dreams. I feel like they're already working on that going to PC anyway, and I think they've even mentioned it, if I'm not mistaken, in some interviews. That just makes sense. It's more of a game engine than a game and all of this. You know what game I would actually like to see out of this list go to PC next? It's the one that I guess the least amount of people voted for, which is Gran Turismo, because you'll see these racing games go to PC, and that's when it gets the ultra-wide monitor support, the multi-monitor support, and for what we've seen with PlayStation, they're not that interested in having the PS5 support monitor resolutions or any of that, and that is a game that is primed for a whole setup where you have the racing wheel and you have all the different viewpoints around you with monitors. I know they're going to work it into VR, I'm sure, but the idea of Gran Turismo, the newest one, heading to PC would be really cool. And we'll finish up with the comment of the day, as you're seeing here. This is from John Lowell saying, I noticed the Switch's current large black bezels are missing in the trailer for There Is No Game. Switch Pro confirmed. Yep. It must be. I guess Nintendo decided, you know what? If we're going to show off this Switch Pro, it's gotta be in a random indie trailer. It's the only way. No, this is obviously an editing mistake. Generally, from what I remember, a lot of these smaller studios will have to send in a trailer that they make, and then Nintendo approves it. And who knows, maybe just slip through the cracks. They're trying to put all this stuff together with half the people working like remotely and all that. So I would just cut a little bit of slack to the people editing this and putting it together, and it's just getting kind of by them for this one. It's nothing that I would say is pointing to a Switch Pro or any of that. Just a mistake in editing. Probably not even really worth talking much about. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit that like button, really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about here today. Whether it is the Resident Evil showcase, what do you think of Village so far with everything that Capcom's shown us? And are you going to try out the demo this weekend? Also, what do you think about the PS5 spinning up its disc randomly, apparently being fixed in the last update? Let me know if you noticed that it was spinning up less, I guess, since downloading the update. Oh, and then Super Monkey Ball, possibly in 2021. Are you excited for a new game in that series? Thanks, guys, for watching. Have a great weekend. I'll see you back here Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time for Newswave.